Hi everyone. Today we are going to do a print with the YoraHome new 3D printers and hopefully get you started on being able to do your own prints after this. And we're going to let you know what the basic software Cura that you need to use for slicing it, and then we're going to go to Thingiverse and download a file. So the first thing you're going to need is your USB adapter. You should have. If you don't, it might be in your little drawer that came with it, and the micro USB or the microchip that came with it. It's going to go in the end there. We're going to plug it into our computer, and also you should have gotten a sample filament.
There's no.
Let's go. Let me change my camera. And the first thing we're going to do is. So, first thing we're going to do is feed the filament in. I'm going to turn this around so you can see what I'm doing here. It's pretty easy. Just got to do it one time. Put your filament up top on the spool, and so that the wire actually comes down this direction. And you have to pinch this to release the tension. The filament actually goes right through, right into the tube like so. And so you need to pinch this to release the pressure so that you can push it through. But you're going to put it in the hole, and it's going to stop, and then you're going to need to go through. Now you might see, let me move this over, so a lot of times it's not going to go right in the first hole. You have to kind of like squeeze this tight and then maybe move this a little bit. I like to turn it this direction, and then it will eventually go in the hole. If it doesn't, here is a trick that everybody tells me to do. Well, that I actually do. Get your little cutters, and so what we'll do is cut this on an angle, and then we're going to feed it in here, and you gotta kind of get it straight through. Once you get it straight through, you're gonna notice it going in, and then it's gonna, if it stops right there, sometimes it gets stopped, it goes in, and then it'll get stuck right here, right as it's trying to go into this tube. And all you got to really do is squeeze this, pull it back out, and kind of turn this a little bit as you push it in, and then it should go right in. Once it goes in, I just keep going in lightly. You got to keep this squeezed, and then as you go in all the way, and it is actually now it's stopped. You just stop. It actually went all the way up the tube and is now down inside the extruder. So, and that's all you need to do with that. And you put this back on, and then we can turn this around. I don't like how my filament is. We can turn this around. And then let's turn this on. Now, you may have the Ender-3 or you may have the 10. I have the 3 version 2, and my screen is a little bit different. But I do not have the other ones, but I'm almost sure the concept is the same on all of them, where you have probably prepare, and then under prepare you have YoraHome, disable stepper, all those good things. So when I mention what we're going to be doing, if you don't have the same one I have, you just have to find those specific ones on your screen. So in this case, I like to go YoraHome, and you've got the whole thing already all set up, but now I've got this fed. I like to put that in there and go from there. So now that we have that on, it's auto-homed, we can just click back. And so now I'm going to switch you over to the computer, and we're going to prepare a file that we have to send to the printer. So, first thing we need is, let's do this. Let's go to Thingiverse. Thingiverse.com. I'm going to put a link in the description, and I'm also going to put a link in the description to Cura, the 2 things that I use regularly to do this. So basically this website is amazing. You can get all the goodies on here, pretty much anything. So let's, in the search box, do a search for test print. So when looking through the different things, I felt this cat would be the best thing for us to do. So let's click on the cat. And on Thingiverse, what you have here is the pictures of the different things. Usually the blue one is the 3D design of it. And then down here you have, tells you the actual things, which is the actual STL files, which are the 3D files inside of the zip. Different people's comments, how many people made it. A remix is someone that took this file and remixed it, like they modified it, and then it comes back and applies the credit to this person who originally did it. So clicking on thing details, scroll down, usually the person tells you all the description, but a lot of things you want to look for is the print settings. They'll give you the print settings, and a lot of times they're a lot longer than this, and they'll tell you all kind of stuff if you need support, all kind of things, your different temperatures, or the different how they do the supports in different ways. So there's different things. So anyway, let's go ahead and download this. So normally if there's a bunch of files, you can just come up here and click download all files. I would recommend signing up for the site, and you can collect them under your collections. You can like them, make comments. I definitely think liking them gives credit to the developer. But in this particular example, we're going to click on one thing files, and then come down here to the actual one file, and then click download, because that's all we need to download is just the one for this example. So let's save it, and now you have to know where that is saved, which will be in your download folder. So let's open up that. It is in my download folder. So now that we have it, we downloaded the file and we want to print that. What do we do with it? So like different things, how it works is the 3D printer obviously prints from the bottom up. It prints one layer at a time. So we need a program to slice it, all these layers, and puts it into G-code. Then we're going to save it to the little key drive and put it in the machine. So you need a program called Cura. It's by Ultimaker Cura, and this is the website link right here. I will also put this in the description. So let's download that. And I have Windows. Probably should be same in Mac, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and save it. And it's still downloading, still downloading. And now that I have it downloaded, if yours is not, just pause this video. We're going to double click on it. It's going to come up. Do you want to allow changes to this device? We're going to say yes. And the install comes up. We're going to click next and agree, and wherever the default place you want to install it, and the group. And for right now, I leave all this default. The only other thing you might want to do is open it with G-code, but I don't want to do that because I use my machine for a bunch of other stuff. But for this example, you only really wanted to do the STL files for right now. So let's click install, and it's going to take a minute. We need some elevator music. Da, la, 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 la. I wanna rock. She's got enough files. So yeah, anyway, while that's installing, Thingiverse has a lot of amazing files. You would actually be shocked on what you're going to find, the things that people have made. If it comes up and asks you before it's done, do you want to install the Microsoft distributables or distributables, whatever they are, just say yes. Go through the defaults and just say yes. It may have to install some additional components. I've already done this like a couple times, so it probably didn't need me to install them. But if it does, just say yes. Anyway, when it's done, we are going to click run, or just leave that checked and click finish, and it will run. And the nice thing, Cura is free, so you don't have to pay for it. Okay, so now that we have it on the screen here, I'm going to maximize this a little bit for you. We're going to go through telling it what printer we have. So let's just go through the basic settings on this. So let's say get started. And yes, we agree to whatever that is. And that. And this. So you could create an account, which I have, and but in this example we can just click skip, but you should come back and at the top right it'll say sign in and create an account there. So I'm going to say skip. So now we need to know what kind of printer we have. In this case I have the Ender-3. We're going to add here and click add non-networked printers or printer, and we're going to scroll down to the Creality 3D, and you will choose your printer. I'm going to choose a Creality Ender-3. If you have a 5 or if you have a 10, you just choose the one that you have right there. So we'll click next. And these are the basic settings. We'll just leave this at default for right now. If you ever want to go back and change anything, I do have a heated bed. It is a Marlin G code. Pretty much everything else is here. I have one extruder, it's it. And then we're going to click next. And that's it. So up top here you should have your printer name. Mine says Ender-3. You may have Ender-5. Here you have the 0.4 nozzle, which is the default with it. Generic PLA, which is what came with it. Here, if you click this here, this is your standard quality for your print settings. We're going to leave this. There's a lot of other things that I'm not going to go into that you can Google. If you click custom, this is where I work all the time here. I haven't seen this in so long I forgot what it looked like. But for basic, this is what we're going to do. If you want adhesion, we can do a brim, which we are going to do a brim, which I will show you. And if you want supports, it'll generate supports. These are all automatic. So anyway, so let's open up our little kitty cat. So we're going to come up here to the folder. We're going to click on it, and we're going to navigate to your downloads folder. And mine is all over the place. And here is my cat. You're going to find your cat that you downloaded, and then you're going to click open. And it should be right there. If you don't see the cat, just pause this and then find it and then click open, and you should see it right there on your bed. If you hold your right hand mouse button and then move your mouse, you'll be able to scroll around and see all the different 3D of the mouse, of the object. And if you use your mouse scroll wheel, you can zoom in and zoom out. Now, one thing I want to show you is if your left hand mouse button doesn't do anything but select. So another thing is see how the cat is down here. If you hold the control key and the shift key and then do your left mouse button, you can then move it around like that. So like I slid it up and now I can scroll around like this. Just one thing I want you to see is the red mark means that area probably needs support. And what support is it will build extra PLA to support that. That should just come right off after you're done printing. So I'm just going to scroll around to see the cat, and then we're going to leave everything default, and then we're going to click slice. Now what it does is right now it's slicing it. Gives us a rough time, 50 minutes and 6 grams of the PLA. Now up top, if you click preview and you come in here, you're going to see what it's going to kind of look like. That's exactly what it's going to print. It's going to print this around the outside just to make sure that the filament is fed through. It's going to come here, and that's what it's going to print. Now I just want to show you one other thing. If we come up here to standard and we say, okay, let's give it some support, and you'll notice this went gray, you have to click slice again, and now it's going to slice it, and then you're going to see now, see the tail? I'm going to zoom in. It actually created, and hold the Control and Shift, and I'm going to slide up with my left button. It actually created this here so that when it prints it, it's gonna, this won't fall, won't, you know, it won't droop or whatever, and then this piece here should just technically come right off. Should. This here, it created supports in here that come off, and so forth. You're going to see as you move forward that you are not going to like supports. They are a pain. It actually did supports here. There's so many options for supports, but this is a generic, and we're going to turn this off. One other thing we can click on is adhesion. This will put a brim on the bottom, which I'll show you. So I turned off supports, I turned on adhesion, and I'm going to click slice again. And you just keep doing this around and around and around until you get the exact thing you want. So what this does, and this you probably do a lot. So the cat itself, if you come over here prepared, the cat only touches the bed on the blue areas. Sometimes you may have a problem with it sticking, sometimes you may not. Sometimes it'll print most of the way, and all of a sudden these corners raise up, and it could be a real pain. So one way to get around that is by turning on the adhesion, and that will give you, well, there's different types of adhesion, but in this instance, this is called a brim. And what this does is it just makes a whole bunch around it, and then it touches this, and when you're done, this just actually just peels right off. It literally just comes right off, which is great. But if you notice now, look at the surface area now. So much more. It gives it so much more adhesion and holds on to your material. And if this leg here thought about coming up, this is here to help hold it down. So anyway, now that we have that, what we want to do is we want to save this file. So I'm going to click Save to File, and it's in my downloads, and it puts CE Calicat G code. So that's what it's called. And I'm going to click Save. So now that we've done that, we're going to take, let me switch here. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to take this as we had it, and we're going to put the micro disc in there, take it out, and we're going to put this USB in our computer. Kind of like an external drive, which technically it is, a memory card. Put it in, it should come up, and actually mine just popped right up. And what we want to do is, basically, we are going to pretty much just copy that file to my external drive. So I'm going to switch in this window. Actually, it is my M drive, okay? So let's just do it in the one window. It's my M drive. So I'm going to scroll up here to my downloads. And not sure why it keeps doing that. The latest one I always sort mine by date modified, so I don't have to go looking for it. It puts the latest one at the top, is this one right here. So we're going to right click. You can go send to your M drive, or you can copy and click on your M drive and then right click paste if you want to do that. Or again, you could just right click on the file and click go to, or send to M drive. So now that we have it here, I close it, and then I personally, you could just pull it out, but I personally click this, and I click on my safe remove, eject my M drive, and then it made sure all the cache is written to it, and now we can eject it. So now, let's pull it out, and I'm going to maximize the printer. Basically, it goes upside down into your little micro slot, right here, and push it in until it snaps in. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see my screen here, but I'm going to assume at this point you've already leveled your bed, or if you have an auto leveler, and everything's good and you're ready to go. Now, one thing I personally, this is just a choice, is whenever I put new filament, it puts it right up to the extruder. I like to raise it. I'll go to prepare, move Z, and I like to scroll it to the right to, let's say, whatever, 30. And then we'll raise this up. I personally like to then go back to control, temperature, and turn my nozzle up to a temperature, and then slowly turn the wheel to get a little bit to come out. Kind of like just purges it, gets it full in there, but we kind of don't need to. So in this situation, all you got to really do now is go to print, and that's going to read from your card. And you can't see it, but on yours it will say the CE Calicat, and you just choose it and it will go. So again, this one here I've already had different filament, but I'm just going to let it go as that, and then I'm actually going to choose it. And so now what it's going to do is it's going to start warming the bed, 50 degrees Celsius, and then once that gets to 50, then it's going to start warming the extruder nozzle. And you can actually stop it, pause it, it tells you the time it's going to take, 50 minutes or whatever, and we'll go from there. So I'm actually going to let this record. I'm going to move the camera so you might get a little dizzy. Let's see if we can let this record. I'll speed it up when I come back. So. Keep an eye, yours should be warming up. And you always want to kind of, one thing that I want to touch on is whenever I start a print job, I always, well first off, I use straight alcohol, have it in a squirt bottle, and I use a microfiber rag in between to wipe off the bed. Second is I never leave until I see that first layer laid down, because that's the whole thing. Once your first layer is laid down, if it's not going to stick, then it's going to just pop right off, and then you're going to have a headache. So once I get the first layer down and it looks pretty good, then I just let it go from there. So let's see. She should start printing soon. Let me change my camera here. Now the extruder should start going up. Yep. There. Okay, it's getting ready to start, and I'm going to make sure that the first layer adheres pretty good. If it does, then I'm going to let it go. If it does not, then unfortunately I'll stop it and start back over. And just stop it, clean it up, make sure the bed's level, then start back over. Here we go. I did not prime the tube with the white, with the extra film, which I normally do, but I think we'll be fine because it has so much to print. Here we go. You can tell I had orange in there. Okay, so it puts this line here and makes sure that it's purged. It always puts one of these here first. I like peeling it off. It's just my thing. And then if you notice now, if you can see, it's actually printing very nice and it's adhering very well. If it does not, what will happen is you'll see it'll actually just start peeling off and sliding all around with it, which then you got to do a lot beeping because of all the cuss words that come out. But it looks pretty good. So it's just going to continue doing that, working its way in, and then it's going to do its thing. So, all right, I'm going to let it go. Okay, so now that we're finished, basically what we got here is, turn this down, whoops, see my little kitty cat, kind of bright, here we go. A lot of times it might not be the easiest to take off here until this cools down. This one actually just came right off. So I'm going to raise my camera up a little bit here. Hold on, give me a second. Get you back where you were. So if you can see, hold on, give me 1 second here. Okay. So the kitty cat. Aww. The brim here should just come right off. Peel it right off. May want to get some little tools to clean these up a little bit with. And that's the little kitty cat that we printed. And there's that. You can see it. Yours should be like that. You should not have any sagging down. That's a 45, so that's the most of an angle you'll be able to print without a support. So it actually came out really, really good. So there's that. Just want to review. Let me come back to my screen here. Just want to review that basically how it works is you have your STL file, which we get at, let me see if I can find it, Thingiverse, and you're going to be able to find so much stuff here. But you have to have the STL file. When you get the STL file down, you can load it in Cura, and in here, then you you see what you want to do with it. There's all kind of different things. You can also change the orientation. So if for whatever reason this happened to be on its side when I got it, I know it's not going to print like that. You can just click on it and change how you want it to print. Find the best way and move it around, and then you slice it and then you save it to your card and go there. There's multiple different ways to do it. If you take the USB and plug it into, if you take the micro USB and you plug it into this micro port right here and into your computer, then this will actually change to save to the actual printer card, and then you can skip that whole part. The only thing I don't like about that is it doesn't like long file names. If you have like something like this long right here, it won't read it. It won't even show up. So you have to shorten it down. I'm not sure how many characters. I haven't done the research, but that's pretty much it. You get the STL file, you slice it, you send it to the printer, you make sure you have the right filament, and you can kind of play with these settings a little bit, go to custom. I would recommend definitely researching a lot on this. And that's pretty much it. That's how you get it. If you ever want to get kind of really crazy, I have my Octoprint set up, which is I control mine through a Raspberry Pi, and it's a little itty bitty computer sitting there that I can actually control all the temperature time. I have a camera set up on it. I can see the temperature of my stuff. I can do the time lapse, turn on G code. All I ever do is this is connected. I just click here, upload my what I'm sending to it, and then it goes to the printer. I can monitor it from here. It's actually pretty cool. But that's a whole nother day. Whenever you're ready to pimp it out, we can go through that. But anyway, I hope this helped to get you to getting your print on Thingiverse, downloading it, putting it in Cura, slicing it, and again, then printing it. So enjoy. Jungle.